Behavior. Exhaust of water. Reverse.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rudra Narayan Das on behalf of CARD and Center CARD and IIM Sambalpur. I welcome everyone to this online signing of Memorandum of Understanding between Indian Institute of Management Sambalpur and Center for Adivasi Research and Development Odisha for multimodal initiatives and projects on teaching, research, skilling, training and global outreach. I'm delighted that we have finally come to this day. Dear friends, Center for Adivasi Research and Development is focusing on disseminating new and changing domains of ideas, discourses and knowledge in the spheres of both natural and social sciences across the various stakeholders of higher education and civil society based on its unique organization of webinar series of global dialogues. And Indian Institute of Management Sambalpur is also a public business school with a massive educational importance in India. Offers postgraduate diploma in management and doctoral business administration, doctoral degree in business administration, and many more relevant degrees in the higher education sector. So since 3 years, both Center for Adivasi Research and Development and Indian Institute of Management Sambalpur working together in the field of research, higher education and organizing international mapping mind dialogues named World Human Sciences and Management Conference and many more. So with this note, let me introduce the respectable dignitaries join us with this online memorandum of understanding signing ceremony to share their good wishes, ideas and insights for the new responsibility to the both the institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are with us to preside over this session, respected Director, Indian Institute of Management, Professor Mahadev Joyswal, and Professor David Jacobs, American University, Professor Jeremy Salmon, University of California, Professor Arthur Nidham, University of Queensland, Australia, Professor Svetlana Burdonova, St. Petersburg University, Russia, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Nayak, respected Vice Chancellor, Ravenshaw University, Professor Sudip Kumar Nanda, Founding Director, Vikramshila University, Odisha, Professor Dr. Sarat Kumar Palita, respected Vice Chancellor, Central University of Odisha, Koraput, Professor Dr. Biswajit Das, Director, Media, Culture and Governance, Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi, Professor Srinivaslu NS, National Juridical University of Sciences, Kolkata, Professor Damanti Besra, Global Ambassador, Center for Adivasi Research and Development. And we have with us Professor Madhumita Das, ex-Vice Chancellor, Fakir-More University, Balasore, Odisha. We have with us eminent historian, Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda, belongs from NRTI, Vadodara, Gujarat. And Srijukta Sarada Prasad Satpathy, eminent social and political activist. Srijukta Ashok Das, Secretary, Odisha Public Service Commission. Professor Shreya Sarkar, eminent journalist, belongs from Massachusetts, United States of America. Dr. Suchishmita Panda, University of Chicago. Dr. Priti Sriranjan, Head Department of Psychology, SCS College, Puri. Dr. Nupur Patnaik, Assistant Professor, Central University of Odisha. Dr. Vikram Kesari Jena, Director, Adivasi Research and Development, and Dr. Saban Bag, Assistant Professor, Sambalpur University, Odisha. So before inviting Professor Dr. Mahadev Joyswal to preside over the session, I would like to invite Professor Sudip Kumar Nanda to go for a theme presentation and future of this theme presentation on the future of this memorandum of understanding. Over to you, Professor Sudip Kumar Nanda.
Thank you so much. In fact, we have got a good galaxy of academia people, both from abroad as well as from within India. And I think that could not be a better combination today of fertilization of intelligence with experience, of strategy with implementation today in this forum. I think I am audible. Hello.
Yes, you're fine.
Okay. Now, I believe that a lot of our foreign guests are from Queensland, Chicago. Mr. Jeremy, I think I'm seeing you now from US. And also our Indian scholars from the University of Chicago and a lot of vice chancellors of the esteemed universities within Odisha and also from Delhi and Calcutta. Now, my small points are these, that when we are going for a MOU between the IIM Sambalpur, which is headed by Mr. Jaiswal, he is quite enthusiastic and energetic person who has led the show. I just wanted to mention that we are dealing with a community which so far is marginalized. They have no idea about the profit motive, cost cutting as a measure of making progress. They don't have any sense of competition, means they do not have any what you call the insights into the field of competition, which probably leads to growth, economy, and other things in the capitalistic terms. Then, but they do a lot of labor, but they do not know the value of the labor, the cost of the labor. They probably do a labor which probably they think is a part of their mandate, but they do not know that the labor can also give them a lot of returns. So the return on equity of their labor, if it's an equity, so the return on equity of their labor is quite phenomenally high. They are not aware of it. And also, we have to also see to it that they are sensitized on the capitalization of their human resources, which they probably do not know. And that is the reason why they are living as of now today. Now, coming to the skilling portion, there are a lot of projects which are coming up in the tribal areas, industries, corporates, lot of service industries. But we do not do any needs assessment of these areas to what kind of needs are felt for these industries to grow, particularly in the areas which are dominated by the tribals. So once we size up the needs assessment, we would be able to do the target intervention in selecting, identifying, training, sensitizing, and preparing the tribal youth for those kinds of disciplines or fields of study in which they would be able to either take jobs, or probably they could be also having the filtering effect, a lot of cluster effect in doing certain jobs which can ultimately support the main capital good industry or the manufacturing or the service industry. So that kind of thing we also have to keep it in mind when we are talking of the skilling. The other thing is that the tribals basically are homeward loving. They do not want to always go out. So we need to take up those centers in those places which can train them in the manufacturing industries, whether it could be lathing machines, CNC machines, plumbing, solar, because these are all coming up in a big way in the rural and the hinterlands of India. So we have to see to it that they do not only drawers of water or hewers of wood. They are not only people who should lay the roads and do the dirty job of putting up bitumen on the road tops, but they should also be able to take up this with some diploma orientation. They would be able to take up these jobs, which can give them the jobs in their areas, or they could also come up with their own units which can supply. They can become a supply chain to the main industries. This clustering the skill needs, the skill requirements, and the skill supply has to be one of the things which we have to think of in these skilling in the tribal areas. The second thing is that the e-commerce has become very wide platform now, and from the benefit of these what you call these Google and these internet and this e-commerce, that we sitting at home will be available, let us say the paintings, or they are the musical instruments, or could be they are very ancient antique kind of things which are having a lot of value in the urban markets, which can be picked up by the e-commerce people at a value which would be suitable to them and would not deprive them or rob them of their classical labor values. And they would be able to put up money, and they would be able to contribute to the economy and also to their homes by finding out a market value for the products which they may not have been taken so far, or could be they are being underpaid today. So e-commerce could be also one of them. And to see that they're connected to the e-commerce, the minimum digital education has to be also given, because one of the reasons why the tribals are today are at the receiving end, that why the tribals are today are at the receiving end, that why the tribals are today are at the receiving end. So we have to also prepare these people for these three things. One is the digital savviness or the digital orientation, sensitization, so that they would be able to at least operate. If they do not know the other technicalities of the digital world, at least they would be able to do the functionalities of the digital world, to see that they are able to click and mouse and able to get their jobs done, and also to see that things are all catapulted into the internet and they are able to get the job markets completely satisfied. That is one. Number two is that the knowledge. They are starved of knowledge. So some knowledge inputs has to be given about the prices, the products, the requirements, the demand, the supply, as to what is their role, what is the contribution. So that knowledge has to be there in the particular field in which these people are supposed to be positioned. And third thing is the information. The information has to be from a session to session. Because the 2020 information is not valid for 2022. So the information has to be also categorized and has to be bookbinded in such a way that they get the real information, and they also look for that information. So that hunger for information, hunger for getting the knowledge updation has to be inculcated in this kind of a curriculum, or what you call the indoctrination or what you call the sensitization, orientation, whatever we put the terminology, so that these people, they look for it. Once these finer values of the soft skills are in place, the other things would be automatically following the suit. So my only point was that since Mr. Jaiswal and the card center are taking up today in an MOU, we'd first look for the following things. Number one, to identify the places in which these people could be skilled suitably to take care of the needs assessment of the areas in which they are being positioned, and what should be the target intervention for these people to get them prepared so that they would be able to eke out a living for them, and they would be able to contribute to the national and also to the individual incomes in home. Number two is that to alternatively the e-commerce route for their products and values, products, music products, and any other kind of things which are much in demand and value, and yet they are not been able to be positioned in the market, or could be they are positioned through some intermediary who is trying to exploit them. But instead of that, if they could directly get the benefits and they could be able to mop up some profits, and they would be adding to their real incomes. The third thing is that they should be able to be completely made digitally savvy and digitally aware, digitally comfortable, and there should be no kind of a complex that there is a divide between them and the others are there at the receiving end. And they should also be completely having a continuous chain of information and about the things in which they are supposed to be masters of the business, the information in the things forward. And in addition to that, would be also we can also think in the terms of agriculture with the blockchain technology having come through, and which is completely as transparent. The agro products in the tribal area could be taken up on a joint basis or through some other agency in such a way that the blockchain technology could be introduced so that they get the right value for their products, for the participation, and they are able to have sizable incomes and returns. But that's the thing in which I think we need partners for that. We need people to introduce that. We need entrepreneurs to come there, and also these people to also give consent to that, so that that could be a long-term solution. So these are the points in my mind before I thought we could take the discussion forward.
Much insight over here. Now I'd like to invite Professor Dr. Mahadev Jaiswal to preside over the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Das, and special thank to Professor S.K. Nandaji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Vikramshila University. I think Professor Nanda has given an overview of what can be done with this MOU. And exactly that is a line which we have been also thinking, that how can we create more business opportunities, entrepreneurship among the marginalized, so-called marginalized section of the society. And this is not only in Odisha, it is all over the world, because and they're the most important part of our society. And we have been talking all over the world that sustainability and inclusiveness, and that is a part of that agenda. And thanks, CARD, for having these initiatives and coming forward to sign MOU with IIM Sambalpur. And people must be thinking that what is IIM to do with this kind of activities? But let me tell you that IIM Sambalpur is very much committed with its inclusive agenda, and we would like to take some initiatives which are challenging, which are having a lot of potentials, and in that line only we thought that let's work together. So good evening, everyone, and particularly Professor S.K. Nanda, Professor Sanjay Nayak, Vice Chancellor, Provincial University, Professor Arthur Needham from the Queensland University, Professor S.K. Palita from the Koraput Central University Vice Chancellor, Professor C.P. Nanda from NRDI, and Professor David Jacobs, and all other distinguished academicians, Jamie Seaman, and so on, and my colleagues from IIM Sambalpur, and dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a great day for all of us. Those who all have joined, that shows their commitment as well. In fact, our institute, the entire faculty, student, as well as the staff are fully committed, and that's why all of them who are committed are here. And we are talking about. So let me first brief you about because many of our foreign faculty members or foreign distinguished administrators, academic administrators may not be knowing much about our institute. So Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur is part of the IIM League, which is one of the premium institution in the country, which is globally known in the management field. And IIM Sambalpur is part of the latest generation IIM, and therefore it has totally new ideas as part of our vision. And when we articulated our vision, we wanted to fill the gap in the management practice and management theory, which exists in global as well as Indian context. So when we analyzed what is the gap in the management practices in India, we figured it out that India, despite having the best talent, best resources, natural resources, and excellent geographical condition, despite that, it is still not developed country, it is still developing countries. And the reason behind, there are many reasons, but one of the most important reasons we came out is that we lack entrepreneurial capacity across different sections of society. There are entrepreneurial capacity in a very small pockets, but not very inclusive across the country and across society, across sections. The gap when we analyze in the global part of the world, I would request all those, please mute your mic. So when we analyze the gap in the management practices in the developed part of the world, so far western part of the world, they're very high in the GDP, they're very high in profitability, they're very high in entrepreneurial capacity. But one thing which now they're struggling is that the question of responsibility and sustainability means they have grown, but in a very isolated manner. And today they are facing, the whole world is facing the challenge of environmental degradations, sustainability, etc. So in order to bridge this, both the gaps, global as well as India, we articulated our vision, and our institute vision is to be an institute of par excellence in nurturing responsible leader with entrepreneurial mindset. It means we would like to create responsible leader with entrepreneurial mindset across society. And we operate around 3 core values, and these 3 core values are around 3 I's: innovations at any cost, at any activity we want to do. It has to be innovation based. We should not be just doing transactionals. And the second core value is in integrity. Ethics and integrity has to be maintained. And inclusiveness is the third I, which means that we must take the entire society together, not only a few sections. And that is a part of that agenda. We are talking about this card and IIM Sambalpur MOU. In terms of its ranking, we are one of the top 18 B school in the country in a just 5 years time. And in next 5 years, we would like to be in the top 5. In fact, we have decided that after IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Calcutta, the 4th institute should be IIM Sambalpur. In next 5 years, that is our goal and agenda. And with kind of activity we would like to do in order to reach to that level. And this is the first step. And we would like to work with all the global society in a very different path, so that in next 5 years, we should be called among the top 4 B school in the country, among the IIMs. And our focus, therefore, is not just creating MBA graduates, which is very small section, that how many MBAs you can create in a year. Maybe entire IIMs total are able to create only few thousand, 4,000 to 5,000. That is not going to serve such a large country's purpose. And therefore, we have decided that our focus will not be just teaching MBA, but should be creating startups, creating business, creating organizations across sections. So incubation is going to be our strategic differentiations in terms of how do we teach incubations and how do we teach startups. And that is our focus. In order to start that, we had the first MOU with our Government of India MSME ministry. And therefore, they have given us the center of incubations to create for the Indian business. Very recently, we signed MOU with Flipkart, the e-commerce giant, e-commerce platform giant. to promote the local business for weavers, tribals, handicrafts, and even farmers. And in same line, we are extending this MOU to understand the tribal activities in terms of entrepreneurial and their other business potentials. We are now today in the process of signing MOU with Center for Adivasi Research and Development as part of this MOU. Now, when we look towards what steps we must take in order to take this MOU further, my action will be that we have to first identify what are the business potentials in this particular region. Like when talk about 22% of Odisha's populations comes under the Adivasi populations, almost 1/4 of this populations. And if they are brought in the mainstream, and our students and faculty will have to take the next generations Adivasis, like their children's, and educate them. Because what happens is, like every day we struggle, this issue has been discussed in the ministry, my ministry, that is Ministry of Education, Government of India. They are very concerned and serious about it. They want at any cost, these communities should be given all kind of upgradations. And therefore, every week in the parliament, this is being discussed, and ministry keeps sending that what is the percent of faculty which comes from this category. And across top institutions, across IIMs, the percentage are very, very low. In fact, about 3 years back, the same questions was for the gender. The gender questions used to come that what is the percent of gender, the female students in our MBA programs? And every institute, top institute, used to say that only 9%, 7%, 12%. And that was going on for years. And that was the same case with IIM Sambalpur as well. But we decided to increase. And we came out a very small policy change in our admissions. And 2019 MBA onwards, we saw a 50% gender in our class. And that put pressure on every other institutions. And today, every top institution, including top IIMs, you'll find more than 30 to 40% female in their class. So it is that kind of initiative which is required even for this category of children's, that if you see in the class of MBA, very small percentage. When you see in the faculty and particularly in the faculty, again, their presence is negligible. When you see in the PhD programs, they are again very, very low. So where are they going to come? In the board, it was discussed at IIM Sambalpur board, and board was also very serious. They said that IIM Sambalpur should take a lead the way we are taking lead in the gender. And if you are able to make this change in next 2 to 3 years, I think that will make us the top institutions. And that is the reason why we have decided to take this head on. And it is a challenge for all of us. We have eminent scholars from the world to help us to come out that how and what steps we should take so that this doesn't become a discussion point anymore in the parliament. And we should say that it's already done across the institutions. I think that is the purpose. And I'm sure that is possible only when we create awareness about the entrepreneur business potentials among their next generation of populations who will be keen to study into this kind of business and management, come forward. Not necessarily they are in the MBA programs regular, they may be in the part-time program, they may be on the certificate programs, they may be in the incubation programs that they are very high in many skills like handicrafts. When you find, if you go to Bastar, if you go to even Koraput, there are a lot of good quality handicrafts are produced, but doesn't reach to the upmarket. So the first step is to make them to reach to the upmarket, and that's where the Flipkart kind of things have come. And we are still working on that, how and what should be done at our institute level. So these are the issues which I think we are going to discuss and also take actions as part of this MOU. And now, therefore, we have many guests to speak. I will stop here, and we would like to see that we have all the speakers who can talk on this line, and I would request first to invite Professor David Jacobs from the American University to share his views and guide us what should be done in this. Professor David Jacobs, yeah.
Good evening. It's nice to see all of you. It's great to see people on Zoom under these circumstances. I'm David Jacobs. I teach business ethics at American University in Washington, D.C., where I focus on labor issues and philosophical pragmatism. It's a pleasure to participate in a gathering of this kind, an international collaboration whose purpose is the emancipation and civil rights of tribal communities. The internet has given us a chance to meet despite the distances. We've got great opportunities to talk across borders about how social entrepreneurship and social marketing communities. We have a number of institutions here that are nicely located in terms of reaching people who may have previously been underserved. Ideas we have international significance. We need to maintain. So I think that in doing so, we can advance sustainability for our collaborators. I'm looking forward to talking to you in the future. You can reach me at dcjacobs@american.edu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor David Jacobs, for your point of view. Now let me request, invite Professor Jeremy Sherman from University of California to address us. Jeremy Sherman.
Yes.
Yes.
1 second here. Good. Yes, it's an honor to participate in this. I'll also be brief. Memorandum of understandings are generally across space between different countries, between different populations, between different organizations. I want to also suggest that there's a way in which this project is a memorandum of understanding between the past and the future. The world is being stretched at this point between those communities that can move forward with technology and those that are being left behind. So I want to suggest that one of the gaps that this organization is attempting to close is between the past and the future, and that the ethics is bound up in that question. How to bring communities that have been left behind, how to bring them forward in ways that also honor and accommodate the traditions. So that is all. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. Honor to be here.
Thank you, Professor Sherman. And now I'll invite Professor Arthur Nidan from Queensland University, Australia.
Yes, good evening. Firstly, I live in Brisbane. I'm actually not from Queensland University. I'm from a postgraduate college in India. However, however, it's been a great pleasure to be invited to this tonight, because in developing, I guess, an uncommon word or an unsociable word is backward communities into the ways and mores of modern times is extremely important, because such communities cannot get left further behind, and neither can they be exploited. And one of the problems with such communities is with lack of leadership and lack of guidance, and I think this MOU will give both leadership and great guidance, is to ensure that the communities are not exploited, that they do in fact garner the best results they can for their advancements. And although I'm attached to a postgraduate college in India, I hope I can be of service to this very, very good idea and move it forward with the rest of the people that are taking part. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Arthur Nidan. Thank you for your point of view. Let me now invite Professor Svetlana Bodronova from St. Petersburg State University, Russia. Professor Svetlana, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to you once you join. Let me introduce and also invite Professor Sanjay Kumar Nayak, the Vice Chancellor of Ravensa University, to address this MOU ceremony? Professor Nayak? I think he is not there. So let me move on. And next, I would invite Professor Sarath Palita, the Vice Chancellor of Koraput Central University.
Sir, all join after few minutes, sir, because the participant side is full packed.
Okay, so I think we never expected that number will be so large here, because you brought such an important topic. Everybody is interested to participate. Okay.
Sir, please
So,
invite Professor Srinivasu NS.
whom?
Professor
Srinivasu.
Srinivasu NS.
Yeah, so I'll request Professor Srinivasu NS from National Judiciary University of Science, Kolkata.
Thank you, sir. Very good evening to one and all. I find that this current collaboration between IIM Sambalpur and the Center for Adivasi Research and Development to be path-breaking and trend-setting kind of collaboration. That is because IIMs are basically meant for serving corporates. I am a little bold here, forgive me if I'm wrong, because IIMs are generally known for commercial entrepreneurship and corporate business-oriented research and development. But at this time, I really appreciate Professor Jaiswal, the Vice Chancellor of IIM Sambalpur, who has actually ventured into a different path. He is taking the IIM's mainstream towards Adivasi development, not just corporate and business development. But this initiation taken by IIM Sambalpur is perhaps meant for ensuring development of Adivasis as well. So entrepreneurship among us Adivasis, research initiations among us Adivasis is perhaps the core issues that this collaboration would be trying to address. And of course, I'm also given to understand that currently IIM Sambalpur happen to have some understanding with Flipkart as well, with respect to promoting the kind of Adivasi products, and as well promoting entrepreneurship among us, the Adivasi groups, and as well. So that's why I said it's a trend-setting and path-breaking kind of collaboration. I think none of your 25 IIMs have done this. Probably Professor Jaiswal to be appreciated for this, to take IIMs towards community development also. Since independence, probably from 1950s, we have IIMs in this country, initiated by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru during that time. So I have been thinking that IIMs, IITs, and national law schools, the kind of institutes of eminence and national importance, what kind of contribution they're having towards the community. Because most of our graduates, they go abroad, they work in corporate sector and all. Very minimum extent people would come back to society. They try to give back to society. And in this at this juncture, I really appreciate IIM Sambalpur that they are redefining, perhaps they are redefining the scope of IIMs. They are bringing IIMs towards Adivasis, right? The Adivasis need not wait to get through number of circles to reach IIMs now. IIMs are coming to the doorsteps of Adivasi. So at this juncture, I really appreciate IIM Sambalpur and also Center for Adivasi Research and Development for coming together to create this historic event of path-breaking, collaboration among us two institutions for taking forward the mission and vision of Adivasi development. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Professor Srinivasu, for your kind words. And as you rightly said, that we have rediscovered what is IIM. It is Indian Institute of Management. It is not multinational Institute of Management. And that is where I think we thought we should also work for India, not only for MNCs. And let's create Indian MNCs rather than promoting multinationals from abroad. So if time has changed, India is emerging as a nation which is going to be the top in the next few years. And we have to be ready, and we have our manpower and everything has to be ready. Our intellectuals has to also be ready to take that path. So thank you very much for rightly appreciating our initiative. And we are very serious on this. As we have created the history in terms of gender diversity, I'm sure we'll be able to create a difference in terms of bringing the different underprivileged section of society as part of our mainstream of entrepreneurship. Thank you.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me invite now Professor Damayanti Beshara, Global Ambassador, Card World.
She will join after a few minutes, sir. Professor Madhumita Das, the former Vice Chancellor of Fakir University.
Okay, Professor Madhumita Das, former Vice Chancellor Fakir University, please address us. Thank you.
Namaskar, and
Namaskar.
good evening to all of you. I belong to the Faculty of Geology. So I am very much concerned about the Adivasis because all my life, whenever I have visited any mining area, always I am encountered with the tribal people. So I am very happy to be a part of signing of MOU between CARD and IIM Sambalpur. And I think this is a very welcome step because I think that if there will be a link between industry, corporate sector, and the community, there comes the educational institutions. They are the linkage between these two. So IIM Jaiswal, I think all academic universities should come forward and follow your footsteps. So I would just like to say that in the coming years, as per the UN report, by 2050, 3 billion people will be added to the cities. So you can imagine how much pressure will be on mineral resources and also energy resources. People are now switching over to electric car, that is okay, and we are switching over to solar energy and wind energy. But for the wind energy also, we need minerals and metals like lithium, cobalt, and other rare earth elements. So I think that in the coming years, more and more pressure will be on the mineral industries. And then, as we know, whatever suggestive guidelines, example, we have ISO 26000, we have the GRI, but mining companies, they behave sometimes in very unprofessional manner. And we know that whatever impact is on the environment, in the society, in the community, that is well known to all of us. So it is high time that we should have the NGOs like CARD, they should look after the livelihood, because why industries are there? Industries are meant to transform the lives of the people of the land. They should make certain positive improvement in the livelihood of the community. So I think this is a very welcome step. NGO is there, IIM is there, and I think in the coming years, the livelihood, the lifestyle of the tribal people who are closely associated to industries, they will be benefited. And I think also the IIM and other universities also, they should look at the requirement of the industries and they should incorporate that thing in their curriculum. Then I think our students who are studying in the universities, they are our future. They are our administrators, they are our bureaucrats, they are our managers. So let us join hands together to bring in a very or more linkage between NGO, the people, and also the academic organizations. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. We all are together on what you are saying, definitely, and things will change. I think academic institutions are supposed to make the change in a positive line, and I'm sure for that we all are here. Let me now invite Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda from NRTI, Railways, Vadodara.
Sir, he will join, sir, perhaps after some time. I invite Dr. Preeti Sriranjan, Dr. Preeti Sriranjan, HOD Psychology, Puri SS College.
Preeti Sriranjan, yeah, Dr. Preeti Sriranjan, HOD Psychology. Please address the gathering.
So very good evening to all the respected dignitaries and everyone present in this meeting. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of Center for Adivasi Research and Development, and on this auspicious occasion of signing of the MOU between CARD and IIM Sambalpur, a plethora of many academicians, researchers have gathered in this occasion. So CARD focuses on disseminating many new ideas in the field of both natural and social sciences, and it aims at putting the emerging youth belonging to the marginalized sections of this society. So this MOU will definitely put an emphasis on the transdisciplinary dialogue, and it focuses on the marginalized communities, and it would work for the livelihood to protect the nature, the culture, language, and the identity in particular. So the age of modernity, it has witnessed that change is the only constant to enhance our knowledge. And this would definitely bring forward the concept of social marketing, new social entrepreneurship for social balancing, which will glorify generations to come. It will give emphasis on the historic and a very holistic approach in education with critical thinking to fill the gaps and work for the voiceless communities. And in the long run also, these objectives which we will definitely go forward, will definitely be fruitful, and not only in Odisha but also throughout India. These communities can get the due recognition. A radical transformation is definitely need of the hour, and therefore we can say that there is definitely a need for to study the various mental health symptoms also within the Adivasis, and marginalized communities. They are being excluded from the economic and the political activities, and there should be preservation of their culture and identity, which would be very much important. And this MOU would definitely lead to capacity building and skill enhancement of the disadvantaged communities and marginalized sections of the society for institutional support, for global visibility, and institutionalized ideas for outreaching, communicating, contacting of tribal communities. So definitely it will lead to a very significant milestone for collaboration. I would like to congratulate IIM Sambalpur for having an understanding, and congratulate all the office bearers of CARD and other dignitaries for being a part of this historic day, and hope this MOU will definitely highlight many multimodal skills also, and finally research for the all-round development of tribal people. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. And I think what you said is absolutely correct. I think it will go in the right direction. Bikram, who is the next speaker now? Who is available?
Sir, Dr. Shreya Sarkar from Massachusetts, the public policy experts.
Yeah, Professor Shreya Sarkar from Massachusetts, Public Policy, US.
Namaskar. This is Shreya Sarkar. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Very much.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I'm a freelance writer. I'm not associated formally with any university, but I live in Massachusetts, and I try to cover Indian American issues for newspapers, but I'm also a very keen observer of caste politics and Adivasi politics back in India. So that's why my interest in this subject. This collaboration, this occasion of online signing of MOU between IIM Sambalpur and CARD, I want to congratulate both the institutions because it's commendable. It is a milestone moment, definitely. So thank you for bringing this about, and thank you to all the participants and all the dignitaries present and involved with this understanding. Now, you see, Adivasis have always been considered the ward of the state, so you dole out welfare schemes for them, and that is where the state's responsibility towards them have ended generally, unfortunately. Nobody has really thought till now, that there has to be a link established between the market and the Adivasis. So I'm very glad this initiative is being taken, because until and unless the businesses get involved, because I'm a very big supporter of free markets, until and unless business schools get involved, markets get involved, I don't think the marginalized communities can really enter mainstream and upscale their handicrafts or their agriculture. So I think it's a very important moment in history. And I have a feeling that this can, if it's successful, and I sure hope it will be, this can become a model for the rest of the country and perhaps for other third world countries who are also kind of trying to grapple and include the marginalized societies and communities into the mainstream. So it's very exciting. And I think, establishment of MOUs like this is like a step towards the right direction, because it not only includes the academia and the training, the folks who are involved in training, but it kind of, as mentioned before, it kind of connects the past with the future. Right now, I think the present where we are standing, it's like a bridge, and an initiative like this is a step in the right direction. So I want to congratulate both the organizations, IIM Sambalpur and CARD, and I hope with all my heart that you become a big success. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya Sarkar, and for your kind words, and I'm sure that's the way we have to do. Next, I would like to invite Professor Nagaraju, Vice Chancellor of GM University, to say a few words. Professor Nagaraju, are you there?
Yeah, I am, Professor. Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor. I think it's in keeping with what you have been doing in the last 1.5 years that I have seen of your stewardship of IIM Sambalpur. Very, very socially oriented and very innovation-driven, programs that you have taken up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
IIM Sambalpur as well as CARD. And particularly what I hope for these kind of activities is that the migration that has been dogging the 9 districts of Odisha, where the tribal population is more than 50%, this migration would be stopped and people, the tribal communities will be able to stay back in their habitats and grow themselves and live themselves in a eco-friendly ways and in an indigenously strengthened bonds. Thanks once again, Professor Jaiswal and IIM Sambalpur and CARD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nagaraju. I think you are always with us and we'll work together. You are next door to us. I'm sure we'll collaborate and take forward. Vikram, who is the next speaker? Who is available?
Sir, Suchimita Panda from University of Chicago.
Yeah, Dr. Suchimita Panda, University of Chicago. I request you to give a few words from your side. Yeah. Madam, you have to unmute. Yeah.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
A warm welcome to the global audience. I'm Suchimita Panda from Chicago, a biomedical research scientist and president of Beautiful Minds Youth Mentoring Foundation, USA. It's a pleasure listening to you all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I can see many audience are youth. So let me address them as a youth advocate. A curious mind can create wonders. So let me rephrase that. A curious young mind with proper training can create wonders. That is when STEM education is challenged. By promoting science, we are creating future leaders. We are not afraid of asking questions and innovate or invent solutions. So the youth, they learn quickly. It's okay to fail several times. You just need to win at the end. Keep on trying. You will get your answer. The entire science community will be benefited by your invention. So this is my message for our youth. So next is technology. The education system is responsible to bring forward cutting-edge technology to our youth, to constantly challenge their critical thinking, their ability to find problems or issues in any given system will make them prominent leaders of futuristic technology. In the field of engineering, they will be problem solvers. They will crunch numbers with ease. I strongly believe this generation is set to do some spectacular developments in the field of research and innovation. With a humbling heart, I can accept that our scientific future is quite secure. Our future mathematicians, engineers, scientists, the technology experts require proper STEM-carved education, and we are here to help. We have united in this platform today to take responsibility of providing quality education to our underserved community, the tribal pockets of India. They are our root. No matter how tall and big we grow, without a healthy root system, eventually we will collapse. The Center of Adivasi Research and Development, under the visionary leadership of Dr. Jena and his team, is doing a praiseworthy work by bringing all of us together. We at Beautiful Minds Youth Mentoring Foundation USA and India are fully committed to this cause and looking forward to collaborate with CARD. We all share the same passion of educating our tribal youth to nourish their brain with STEM-based education, to garnish their lives by providing career guidance and making them aware of various scope of work available across the globe. It is our social responsibility to give them voice, to promote unheard voices, which ultimately will decrease youth inequalities. I am confident that the initiative taken by CARD and IIM Sambalpur will play a big role in encouraging future entrepreneurs to change the tribal livelihood by teaching them innovative business model, by exposing them to research-based theories. So to end my speech, as I always say, the future belongs to the millennials and we're here to serve them with gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Susmita Bandaji, and thanks for your all kind of work you're doing and your support for this cause.
Now invite Professor Vishwajit Das from Jamia.
Yeah, I can see Professor Vishwajit Das. I'd like you to address, please. Please unmute, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Jaiswal. I just have a few pointers to make, and I would like to congratulate at the outset. I was always told that when I signed various MOUs across the world, that you need champions from both the sides. So I think Bikram from CARD and you, sir, I'm sure you will take it and give it a kind of heights which we are looking for. I have few takes on this particular MOUs as I understand, that in what way the intersection between CARD and IIM Sambalpur. I think one of the reasons can be that this will be an intersection of culture and economy, and what we call it cultural economy, or we call it economization of culture and culturalization of economy. In fact, this is the term which we now use across the world called creative industries. Now, creative economy, creative labor, and creative industries, all the countries in the world, developed countries that have their creative policy, and probably in India, we missed the bus, even though there was an attempt, what Rajiv Sethi does, but probably it could never take up much. But I'm sure, sir, under your leadership and also Bikram's initiatives, I'm sure that you give it a shape. However, I would also like to caution the researchers and the students about their sensitivities to the indigenous people. We should not talk about tribe. And when we talk about indigenous people, we need to be very sensitive. Our textual understanding of tribe is extremely derogatory. And derogatory being an anthropologist, I have to submit that even though we live in what we call modern times, but our pre-modern thinking, we have never left behind. So even today we talk about, as you talk about social media, we are talking about this is a gift economy, as various scholars talk about, bringing back Marshall Morse as a leading anthropologist, and they talk about in what way social media is a gift. And this is where probably a larger variations which we can see. But I'm pretty sure that CARD would immensely support in terms of its cultural resources, and I'm sure IIM will boost up. And that is the purpose probably why IIMs and central universities are located in the remote parts to do a justice to our indigenous communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Das, for the kind words. Let me also introduce him. Professor Das is a director, media, culture, and governance. That's what he was talking at Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi. Thank you, Professor Das, for your unique suggestions in the culture and economy. Thank you. Next, who is there? Bikram?
Dr. Nupur Patnaik.
Doctor?
And sir, I little bit apologize for Professor Das because he is working quite since long time.
Okay, sure.
Sir.
Professor Das, please.
I have already spoken, sir. I've already spoken.
Bikram?
Sir, Dr. Nupur Patnaik from
Nupur
Central
Patnaik,
University of
sorry.
Odisha.
Okay.
A very good evening, and am I clearly audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And thank you, Dr. Bikram. And first of all, I would like to congratulate the entire team for this MOU signing. I think this is a very great initiative. As from the sociological point of view, I could say the tribal people, they have been ignored since times. There are several issues among the tribal populace that needs to be covered. And I think in Odisha, I think there are around 62 tribes. And to cover those tribes, we need various organizations. I think CARD has taken a great initiative. And for tribal development, it is necessary because tribal development efforts should be the main focus. I think this is a great initiative that has been taken. And I think this will be a great success too, because tribal people or the tribal livelihood, as we observed in times of the pandemic, and today as we are moving towards the post-pandemic times, we have observed that there are several issues that the tribal people have encountered, starting from their health, livelihood, to major issues that they were suffering from. And I think that we need to cover up them, or we need to empower them to make them more and more capable enough. So this particular initiative that has been taken by CARD, a Center for Adivasi Research, and that too in Odisha, where the population of tribal is more, and that needs to be covered. So I congratulate the entire team and giving me the opportunity to speak over here with the great and eminent dignitaries over here. So thank you so much and wishing all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nupur. Look forward. So I think, Bikram, we have covered everyone. Vikram, Vikram, are you there? Else, yeah.
Sir, Professor Sharat Kumar Palita, Vice Chancellor, Central University, Odisha, and then Professor Chandi Prasad Nindi.
Okay. Professor Palita, welcome, and can you say a few words? We are about to complete, so can close. Professor Palita is a Vice Chancellor of Central University, Koraput Central University, and we'd like to listen to your views on this. Yeah, Professor Palita, can you address for a few minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good evening to all of you, President of this evening's meeting. And at the outset, I congratulate Professor Mahadev Jaiswalji, Director IIM Sambalpur, and Director CARD Bikram for signing this MOU. And I congratulate because you see, Professor Jaiswal have been in the forum since last more than 1.5 years. He has been a guiding force. Before I joined the team, he was there. Professor Naik was there, and they have been guiding the team. And I think once we have all signed MOU and taking this initiative with CARD for the development of the tribal people, I think this is the right time that Professor Jaiswal has joined the bandwagon and signing this, because he is a person who has specific things in mind, and he has already started doing things from IIM Sambalpur. Specific things, products are coming, and he has specific design that how improvement can take place. So I congratulate, and CARD is doing its best for connecting people since over more than a year, and all over the globe he is contacting people and getting people through webinars, best of minds. And I think what best can we expect? So naturally we must there to support these young people who are working for the betterment and development of the tribal community. They require guidance. support. And I think in that respect, Professor Jaiswal is the right person. And I hope signing a MOU with IIM, and earlier already it has signed with Ravensa, with the Central University of Odisha, recently with the Law University. So I think our combination helps that we form a network and try doing things for the community, not only at the level of Odisha, but at the all India level. Because after 75 years of independence, there are a lot to be done for this community. Many things have been said, many things have been written, but concretely, many things are yet to be done. So I think for that point of view, this is a great step forward. And for all of us, Professor Jaiswal is also a beacon who knows how to take things forward. He has experimented, he has publications, he is guiding the IIM Sambalpur since the last 4 or 5 years, and hope we all will be benefited. We all, I am in Koraput, where more than 50% population is tribals. They require some guidance. They require opportunities to come to them. So I think CARD is a greater forum where we all are connected. And so this joining of Professor Jaiswal and IIM Sambalpur will create a greater horizon for all of us, not only for CARD, so that we can jointly work for the betterment of the tribal community. I congratulate all the persons, Professor Nayak, and all our eminent personality from outside the country, as I see Professor Nidham and many others who are here, Professor Sanjay Kumar Nayak, and all others who are connected with this. All best wishes and wish a very successful time. And on behalf of the Central University of Odisha, total community, and from this, I assure that what best can be done at a personal level or at community level, we will be certainly doing our best. But I also require the support of Bikram, the CARD organization, as well as Professor Jaiswal. I think I must not speak more this much. This is my submission.
Thanks, Professor Palita. And we are looking forward, and we will be next meeting we'll be doing at Koraput Central University at your office, and we all will be coming there. Eagerly waiting for. Now COVID is over, so I think we have to come there and work very closely with you because that is the central place for the tribals particularly, and also for the entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurship. That is the place we should create the bigger center. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vikram, who is the next?
Sir, Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda.
Okay, he's there. Professor Nanda?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He is working with the Railway Transport Institute, Baroda. So Professor Nanda is a big support to all of us. I request him to say a few words.
Yeah, very good evening.
Professor Nanda, you're unmute. You need to unmute here.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry about this. Good evening, Professor Jaiswal. Good to see you after a long time, and also I don't know how to where to start and how to start coming at this far end of this program. I'm right now traveling. I'm caught up with few other things. The point that I would like to again reiterate, as we have been trying to get through this idea again and again, such kind of MOU signing events, is precisely that card has been a kind of very illuminating idea, which particularly it's the major leader, Bikram has been pioneering. But if you remember, it is you, Professor Naik, Mr. Nanda, Mr. Palita, all of us teamed up way back 2020 when COVID was at its peak to think of doing something for this region. And we immediately rubbished this idea that we need not focus on the so-called quote-unquote center. We need to look at the margin. We need to look at the periphery, and we also need to look at the existing mechanisms, institutional mechanisms which are available to us in Odisha, like IIM Sambalpur, Central University Koraput. Of course, they need to speak back to the center being Cuttack and Bhubaneswar, where Revensa is there, IITs, and we're also looking forward to signing up MOUs with IIT in Bhubaneswar. And also going beyond that, also we had a MOU with NUJS and few other places. So the whole effort has been to legitimize this idea that, or to at least endorse this point of view that we need to look at the margin, and the margin should speak back. And when I say this, I mean that our efforts, our whole initiatives should be oriented to capacity, the idea of capacity building of the socially disadvantaged communities, whether obviously the tribal people comes first, and also the other sections of marginalized communities, they need to be looked at. And with you there, leading from the front, the kind of management that we need to bring in to do that capacity building exercise, it's simply something is really required. It's really the need, and you're there to mentor it, and you are there to come up with a role model, and how do we card capitalizes on this particular account needs to be seen in the upcoming days. So we have already spelled out the specific components of this program. I mean, the kind of activities that we're going to do based on this joint collaboration with different institutions. There is an institutional mechanism already available with IIM, Sambalpur, and the Central University, Koraput. How do we figure out our programs based on those institutional frameworks? One, and secondly, the challenges of NEP, New Education Policy, which talks about digital university, which talks about going beyond revamping the pedagogical structure, course curriculum in many radical ways. Can we take up those challenges? These are some of the questions that we need to think through. These are some of the ideas that we need to brainstorm and come up with something very different. It cannot be a conventional idea that needs to be pursued or mentored. And CARD is not simply a theoretical concept. CARD is something, basically woven around this idea of activism, and how this activism is to be redefined, to be translated into very concrete reality, very encouraging positions, very encouraging models. That is the challenge for all of us. Signing MOU is one basic stepping stone, but the real challenge now is looming large. And how do we translate these ideas into action? And because we will not be blamed later on that we have just made card and these collaborations, a paper tiger, and beyond that we haven't gone forward. So the real challenge for me is the post-COVID years, these next upcoming 1-2 year. We need to very concretely needs to be perceived by one and all, by the stakeholders, by the people of Odisha, people in India. Of course, we have a major demographic constituency across the world. They need to recognize this fact that we have come of age. We have come of in terms of our, we have started talking in terms of our actions. We have started talking in terms of our ideas, making our ideas absolutely great and visible. So that is where we are pitted right now. This is a challenge, double challenge, which very strongly emerges before us. So we need to take it up very strongly. So I definitely am, it's a very historic moment that the thing that we imagined a year back, where you are the partner, where you are the mentor. Now you are almost like concluding the first phase of signing of MOU with your sign of approval that yes, IIM Sambalpur is ready now to back it fully. So that is where we stand. So the time for action is now here, and we need to face it. We need to take it up. Thank you very much, and congratulate you again, everyone, being part of this major idea. There's just not an event, an idea that will remain with us for many years to come. And we need to own this idea. As I've been saying, it's not just of participating in an event like this. We need to own this idea every moment, by every piece of action, by all measures of our logic, everything of that sort. So I need to congratulate you. Thank you, and also look forward to a lot of activities coming coming from this signing of MOU. So many MOUs have been signed. Now it's time to get into action mode. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Professor Nanda. Looking forward for the action, definitely. I think now I'd request Mr. Vikram Jaina, the director of CARD, to conclude, give his concluding remark, I would say. He's the man behind.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Without you, today's evening is nothing to say about, sir, anything. Because you are the first man who, when I invited you in an occasion of initiative policy dialogue, where you started the journey, and today with add some comma, not full stop here, because we have to do a lot of work. We missing today Sarada Satpati ji, and also missing our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjay Naik. Both are in Delhi now for a small occasion of meeting. And we missed the Global Ambassador of CARD, Professor Padma Shri Damayanti Besra. Today we have great and eminent academicians with us. It's possible because due to the leadership of Professor Jaiswal, like Professor David Jacobs from American University, Professor Jeremy Sherman from University of California, Professor Arthur Nirdan, Queensland, Australia, Professor Setlana Bardolana, she did not join, perhaps some technical glitch there. Professor S.K. Nanda, the founding Vice Chancellor of Vikramshila International University, the guiding force behind all these so-called MOU and all these technical journey. Professor Sharat Kumar Palita, the man behind himself, the Vice Chancellor of Central University, Professor B. Nagaraju, Gangadhar Meher University, Professor Biswajit Das, the Director and the Advisor of CARD, Professor Srinivasulu NS, one more Advisor of CARD, Professor Damayanti Bisra, Professor Madhumita Das, the ex-Vice Chancellor of Fakir Mohun University, Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda, NRTA Baroda, Sujukta Ashok Das, Secretary of PSC, Dr. Suchishmita Panda, University of Chicago, Dr. Preeti Sri Ranjan, HOD Psychology, SS College Puri, Dr. Nupur Patnaik, Assistant Professor, Central University of Odisha, and man behind the technical system, Professor Shubham Das, the political scientist, and the Rudra Narayan Das, the Executive Director of CAD. I would like to just sum up with few lines only for Professor Jaiswal. Professor Jaiswal, the first director of IIM in India, who has been taken a challenge. When people are seriously looking, if you look Habermas theory, everybody should think about how community linkage program through corporates. And he is the first man of India who is changed the table and critical perspective from reverse. He wanted to back behind the tribals first, the community first, and the interest second. Because when I was doing a certificate course in IIT Delhi, that was Professor Mohim Sagar and Professor Heleni from Portugal. These people taught us about social marketing and social entrepreneurship and not for-profit marketing as concerned. Rightly mentioned by Professor Jaiswal here, such a wonderful and such a very delighted person, such a down-to-earth man. He knows what to what and what for not, and what to why not. All are sitting here, numbers of IIM faculties working with him. These people are elaborately and kindly emancipate about his character and about his dynamics. Professor Jaiswal always taking seriously the challenges in terms of ideology. So it's a CARD is not an institution. CARD is an idea. It's the idea of Professor Jaiswal. It's an idea by Professor Palita. It's an idea by Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda. It's an idea about Professor S.K. Nanda also. What these people are trying to bring in out the collaborative exchange program and link the gap, less gap between the community and the institution. Professor Jaiswal take a challenge. I appreciate that challenge. I work hard. I commit you, sir. When you do a call, I will with always with you for the larger cause and larger biggest cause of the society as large. What you suggesting? Try to bring in out this MU, the solidarity, the sustainability, the habitability. The three pioneering platforms for these communities, so far as concerned, they must need these three serious matters, and we have looked forward how to engage their ideas into a single platform that is called this MU. And this MU focus on this social marketing concept. The social marketing concept always not looking for profit. When people are talking about business, every business model talking us the ethics of profit. But here is when we are going to do an MU for the sake of these tribal people and the tribal pockets of not exactly mentioned by Professor Jaiswal, not exactly for Odisha, the entire global south seriously watching us. Those people are with us watching seriously in YouTube and Facebook. IIM Sambalpur is one most leading B school of this country who has been taking this challenge seriously to bring their faces, to bring smile in their faces and happiness. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your endeavoring and for your kind leadership. And with the words, I will also help by Professor Palita, Professor Sanjay Naik, Professor C.P. Nanda, Professor S.K. Nanda, and all the academic leaders of this country. Those are making us to do some changes in society and in changes some very vibrantly for sustainability for climate crisis and climate issues as concerned. Thank you so much, sir.
So thanks, Vikram. I think, as you rightly said, CARD is an idea, and idea has to be now executed by all of us. And I always remember the project which started at Stanford University called Starbucks. And people say that Starbucks is a business of coffee. No, it was a business of customer experience. That is the time now. I think B School and all other universities have to come together for a very important section of the society and make them aspire with all of us. I think this is the line which CARD, IIM Sambalpur, and all other university like Central University of Koraput, and as well as many universities who are part of this, Professor Nanda, and everybody who is part of this will be taking. I'm sure all our students as well as faculty will create a project for entrepreneurship. We are not talking only social development, but we're talking economic development without charity. Like the tribals don't need charity, they don't need any kind of special support. I think they need dignity, and that dignity has to be brought by this kind of initiatives. Then only I think they will flourish and progress. I think that is the idea which we all are working together. I'm sure our idea is to bring dignity of the underprivileged as far with at least their next generation, so that they also compete globally in terms of getting their right as per the social justice. Thank you everyone for coming together.
Yeah. Sir, I would like to just add a few lines of yours.
Sure.
Sir, the Center for Leadership and Indian Progress, the CLIP, it's a brainchild of Professor Jaiswal. This is first time in India because there is a center called Center for American Progress. When MIT and Harvard, these people are always looking for the entire development journey of this country. So Professor Jaiswal had a plan few years back, and with this MU, he has been keen interest to establish a center in IIM Sambalpur to already showcasing with these plans with our HRD minister, Center for Leadership and Indian Progress. This center always looking for future journey. What kind of future we have in 2047, shaping leaders for tomorrow, shaping thinkers for tomorrow, and also shaping academicians for tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we can conclude now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, Dr. Shawan Bag is there to go for formal vote of thanks.
Okay. Yeah, Professor Pal.
Hello,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So good evening, one and all, and thank you, Dr. Jena, and also Director IIM Sambalpur. Well, it's yet another milestone for all of us here on this platform. And when I say milestone, I mean it. I mean it because the matter and men who are steering this process by joining far from different parts of the globe to bring sustained and desirable change in the life of millions of people. And this effort is really commendable in all parts, in all aspects. And as we were hearing Professor Jaiswal at the beginning in the inaugural session, how initiatives of IIM Sambalpur has already begun this process at one hand. And on the other side, when we look at the institution or organization card, which is very much at its infancy stage, but it is committed and it firmly believes in this idea. And here is the result. Today we are on this occasion signing an MOU. We also heard that there's a lot of concern in terms of different gaps in with reference to the non-execution of different policies, programs, different plans, and moreover practice. Because this strata of people for which we all are here has always been at the end of the side, at end of the receiving side. So hardly their voice has been heard, their need has been met. If at all it has been done, hardly the plans get executed and makes to and comes to practice. So let's take this as an opportunity and fill this gap. And this MOU would certainly set tone for the next level of discourse and dialogue. I'm sure that by not only by signing this MOU, but also making it possible in the field, we can bring change in the life of this strata of people. I'm sure together we can achieve this goal. Thus, my heartfelt thanks to all our participants across the globe, our institutional partners, particularly the IIM Sambalpur, to be the torch bearer in this process. I also take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our eminent speaker, our invited guests, who have already given a lot of food for thought with their blessings and input. We are highly mobilized, and I'm sure that all our input team have taken a note of whatever the recommendations, the hunch point that has been said or that has been shown by our eminent speaker will be taken care of. Last but not the least, are all advisors, our other institutional partners like Ravenshaw University, Central University of Koraput, NSLU, and all our technical input team for making this event successful. Just to conclude in a very one line, as we all know that day after tomorrow we'll be celebrating Holi, the color of the festival of color. So I'm sure that this Holi will set the tone to bring a meaning and color to the life of millions of people for which we all are together here. So with this note, I'm signing off and taking this opportunity by saying that let us enjoy, let us celebrate this Holi to firmly translate our policy into practice and showcase that we are not only limited to words, we firmly believe in action. So with this note, I once again thank all our participants, our speaker, our invited guests, and of course, Director IIM Sambalpur in particularly for steering this process. Thank you so much. We will be looking forward for your presence and participation in the days to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Ribbon. I think now I thank everyone and also wish you all a very happy and colorful Holi to you and your family. And we will come back again in terms of action very soon, that how this MOU to be executed. I'm sure all will be excited to work on this because this is a lifetime opportunity we have got when we have got together for a very important cause of our very important section of people, and we are very confident that we will be able to succeed in our goal and achieve, our target. Thank you, everyone, and again wish you all the best and colorful Holi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.